broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
I'm doing these dorky dance moves for you and for Michelle because we have the final countdown on Project Runway, the final 4. Thank you for staying with us to get to this point in our season 14 recaps of Project Runway here at AfterBuzz TV. I'm your host, Amanda Fields-Bennett, and with me is beautiful Michelle Uberreste wearing one of her own designs, which I love.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for being here. And we're going to break down this episode that was confusing to me on a couple of points, but mostly I was excited for this season to kind of come to an end almost, because I've liked the growth of the designers overall. I like to see, where they can go to with their design concepts, their work in the sewing room. A lot of them have improved in different ways.
And a lot of them haven't.
Yeah.
So I think it's interesting to see who actually takes the criticism and who takes the opportunity to sit and think about, how they want to grow personally as a designer. Mm-hmm. And some people just kind of give up that opportunity.
Yeah, I think people come into Project Runway expecting different things. Mm-hmm. And when you come into an experience with expectations, you are going to set yourself up for disappointment, because the reality is, of any reality show, that it's very daunting, all the tasks that they're asking you to complete. It's very long hours, very strenuous, tiring, exhausting, but rewarding. It's a very rewarding experience to be a part of, as you know. And I think these final 4 have come into it for all the right reasons, to learn from all of the judges, to learn from Tim Gunn, to learn from the guest judges, and from each other as designers. So it's a nice group of people to watch, not only for their design talent, but for their personalities.
I think you mentioned something really interesting, that the designers can actually learn from each other. Mm-hmm. That's something that you don't always get in real life. If you work as a designer, you kind of focus on your own things, and you have trouble sometimes appreciating other people's aesthetics or techniques or even personality. So I think that is a huge thing with Project Runway, because you're living with all these other designers. You really get to know them, and even if their aesthetic isn't something that you would have appreciated before, or something that's up your alley or whatever, you can see them as a person and start to appreciate other people's type of art and learn from that yourself. I think it's kind of a unique experience that way.
And it's interesting that you said appreciate each other's art, because some people view fashion as art.
Definitely is.
And I mean, that's what we feel, but I read an interesting interview recently with Yohji Yamamoto, and I think it was him. Now I'm going to be shooting myself in the foot because I don't know if it was him. But he said he doesn't think fashion is art. Fashion is fashion and art is art, and they're separate.
That's funny coming from him.
I know. So I think it was him. I am going to have to tweet that article because it was really interesting. But it is art. And you can see that these 4 designers are all artists in their own way. They all have different expressions of an event, a certain day in a woman's life, different ideas of how she would want to be on the red carpet, what the event would be about. And I don't really know if Kelly knew that she was going to make an outfit for Katy Perry going to the MTV Video Music Awards or the VMAs, but she kind of saved her look at the end there. I don't know that it needed saving because it was pretty great and it could kind of go to a lot of red carpets. What did you think about her story?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that Katy Perry thing was her story, but that's the first thing I saw when it came out. Like, okay, that's her client. But any music related, you know, the Grammys or the VMAs or whatever, I could see like a lot of different girls wearing that. And personally, like, I always thought if I would do the red carpet, I'd wear pants or something. Like, gowns just aren't my thing, and like they aren't everybody's thing.
Well, I think, with certain actresses like Emma Stone, she's been praised for taking risks like that on the red carpet, and it comes down to the actress having, you know, a good attitude about it and really wanting to go there, and also the stylist that they're working with to understand what to pull from, because pants should not be worn just for the sake of wearing pants.
Right, I agree.
It has to be the right shape and color and fit. And I know I'm jumping ahead to talk about the pieces that they're making, so maybe I'll talk about it later. But just in general, on the red carpet, I appreciate when a tailor comes in and has made sure that the front of the dress hits the ground at the right place with the actress or model's shoes or singer or whoever's wearing it. Because that in general, I've noticed in the past, just on the red carpet when I watch these shows or look at pictures from different events, that will kind of bother me if I can see the shoes. Or if you watch like a beauty pageant or something, when someone doesn't quite know what footwear they're going to use and then they change their mind. Well, if they're too tall, the dress is going to hang too high off the ground, and then it kind of ruins the effect.
It looks really ready-made and kind of cheap.
You mean like off the rack?
Yeah, like, okay, I went to Macy's and got a dress and I just wore it with whatever, and I didn't, you know, these are gowns that cost, you know, thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars. You want it to fit the person with whatever they're going to be wearing. It has to be perfect in every way. It shouldn't look ready to wear, or like a prom dress, or you know what I mean? But I think even with Kelly's jumpsuit, to me it was still a couture piece, because she took the time to kind of build it up. She created her own textile. She layered things. She sewed everything from hand, you know, from scratch. And so to me, like, she put all of that effort in. It wasn't just, hi, I'm a jumpsuit. It was thought out. It was created. It was layered and designed. It wasn't just something that was cheap and easy, just the concept of a jumpsuit itself.
Yeah, and I guess what I should do here is go back a little bit, backtrack, because I love talking about it, but we should also say that the designers for this challenge, it was fun, first of all, how Heidi introduced it. The runway had an actual red carpet down it with the little partition rope.
Yes.
And Heidi comes on and says, well, you are dressing the models for a red carpet event. And Tim has something else to tell you. Tim, do you have the tickets? And I'm thinking they're going to an event.
Yeah.
Like, you have the tickets to the Oscars? Do you have the tickets to the Emmys? Like, because Heidi has actually worn, she wore last season's winning designer to the Emmys.
Sean Kelly.
Yeah, and Sean Kelly, well, he won that particular challenge with that blue fringe dress, and she wore it. And the timing of the episode didn't quite work out with the Emmys, but she still told everyone who the designer was, because that was part of the award, and I liked that she still did it, even though it was going to be a spoiler for that week.
How could you not wear that dress?
No, I mean, I was happy that she wore it, and I was happy that she didn't just say, oh, it's from one of my Project Runway designers. Like, she actually said his name, so that was good. So that's where my mind was going, like, oh, they're going to the Emmys. And I think that would be a good, like, visceral experience for the designers to see in real life, in front of their eyes, the red carpet. Because, you know, they usually have that, like, group of people cheering on the celebrities.
Yeah.
I thought maybe they could sit up there and watch it all unfold.
I think it would have been a lot more inspiring if they would have gone that way.
Yes.
So, but they did get to go to LA.
Yes.
Which is exciting. We love LA.
Hey, we're here in LA. Come on back, designers. Well, I like that they come to LA on the show. that they are experiencing Hollywood.
Yeah.
They stay on Sunset Boulevard at the Best Western Hotel. And we actually have Tammy Lucas, who is the managing director of marketing and advertising for Best Western. And she explains to the Final Four designers that the winning designer this week will get 100 free nights at any Best Western hotel around the world, which is really cool because it's kind of like you have the key to the city, but the key to the hotel, any hotel.
Yeah.
And so it's like, well, all you got to do is get a plane ticket and you always have somewhere to stay, which is good not only for traveling, for inspiration, for just for vacationing, but talk about like doing Fashion Week.
Yeah.
Like if you want to show in New York again and you live, say, in Chicago, you get to have your hotel to stay in, which is fabulous.
For as long as you want. 100 nights?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'm like, I'll just move it. I'll stay the whole time. Oh, no. But that's really, really fun. And then they get to LA. Then they go to this beautiful house in the Hollywood Hills. And they never quite make it clear whose house it is.
It's a mystery.
Because I thought maybe, oh, this is Heidi Klum's house, or oh, this is Tim Gunn's house when he's in LA, or oh, maybe it's a producer from the show or something.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, Kelty Knight, the reporter from The Insider. She's gonna come talk to you about red carpet fashion. But she emerges from the house, but they don't really say it's her house.
I don't think it's
Did
her
I
house.
miss something? If you guys out there noticed whose house it is, please tweet me at the Runway Queen. Tell me what you saw, because I totally did not understand whose house. Maybe that's not important, but I kind of want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. Whose house is that?
I don't know if that's
Whose house is that? That was a weird accent. That was like a Miley Cyrus back in the day. Shallow. Saturday Night Live. Anyway. Okay. I like how Kelty Knight came out there and talked to the designers. I like what she had to say about red carpet design, but I was hoping that they were going to say, and since I interview celebrities on the red carpet, you're going to come with me to an event tonight, a premiere for blah, blah, blah movie.
Yeah, I was really hoping that they were going to have some kind of red carpet experience, or their models were actually going to, like, walk the red carpet.
Because, they had the experience. I was expecting it because they had the experience of going to Finding Neverland on Broadway.
Right.
So they got to see the show and be inspired, and it resulted in a really great runway show. That was one of my favorites, actually.
Yeah, I think when you get closer to the inspiration, you can feel it viscerally a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Then
that's the word this week. We're just going to say viscerally.
Visceral. I mean, it's inspiring, and the view was really inspiring from the house in the Hollywood Hills. But I wish there was a little bit more. I feel like that excitement that like wells up inside of you, and you get all these ideas. It wasn't there. They were basing their inspiration off of, honestly, like the valley and not Hollywood, and not the feeling of the red carpet. Honestly,
it reminded me of when they went to Rome. I think it was last season, because Rome is beautiful, but like, for what? Like, it's beautiful to go there for to live there, or to go on vacation there and experience the place, the city, the food, the smells, everything. But the history. But if you're not going there for a specific event or location to sketch from or get fashion ideas, I mean, for me personally, I'm not a fashion designer, so I have a different take on things. But as someone who's been in the fashion world for 13 years, I feel like when I have traveled as a model to Milan, to Athens, to Paris, to New York, or anywhere, you get a sense of not only what people are doing and how they look, but how people dress in the real world. Mm-hmm. It's like street style that you would see on Instagram, but it's a whole different experience because you see how people walk and how people talk and how they move and how they live their life, and how what they wear will influence just even the way they're walking around. So sometimes you can just be inspired by a single woman just turning the corner, but you get like a little idea.
I feel like it's a little different though. I feel like in Rome you have the architecture, you have the history, there's a totally different vibe there. Like Los Angeles, it feels like a more modern city. There's so much different things going on that I feel like, you know, when we did our red carpet challenge on Under the Gun, we took a tour around Hollywood on one of the tour buses, and you can, like, you're on Rodeo Drive and you can see all like the expensive, you know, clothing
boutiques,
shops and stuff. Yeah. And you see all of the, you know, stuff that tourists see. It's a little more exciting, and you kind of get excited and happy and get more ideas. Like, I feel like they were a little removed from that up on this house on the hill. So
I just wanted more. It's like when Tim Gunn goes in the workroom and says, "I want more from you, designers." I say, "I want more from you, Project Runway, please." Like, taking them out of New York is not. It needs to be for something.
A purpose. Yeah.
Give the designers, a purpose, an experience.
But also, so Kelty Knight tells them these are the three things: drama, color, fit. I didn't see much of that. Like,
well,
there's
we saw some
3
color.
points, a little bit.
And we saw one perfectly fitted garment.
But mostly, I mean, if those are the 3 things
I
your
didn't
bullet points,
really get drama.
I didn't get any drama. I didn't see a lot of color. There was some okay fits.
Yeah.
But if you know those are the 3 things you need to focus on, pick those 3 things. What am I doing for color? Pick your color. Check it off the list. Like, she's giving you a map of how to execute the challenge.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple.
And I thought, you know, again, like looking at photos from a red carpet, it's always the people that wear red, yellow, blue, like bright blue. Those are the people that are going to get photographed the most.
Right.
Bright primary colors, really just like in your face drama, because it not only does it translate well in person, it translates well in photographs and on TV.
Right.
You have to think about how is it going to be viewed in all these different arenas. And also, when you're dressing a celebrity, it's not just about that night, because any picture of them or video of them is going to go around the world, on the internet, on TV, in magazines.
Yeah, more people are going to see it in print than they are in real life.
So for a celebrity, they're thinking about their image. It's almost like an advertisement for themselves, for whatever project they're working on. So not only are they thinking of how they're going to look for that night, but also, how do I want to dress in relation to the character that I'm playing right now, or the movie that I've just done that's come out. So do I need to relate to that audience, because that's the group of people that I want to come see my movie, that I know will come.
Right.
So like you're kind of playing to the strengths of that person, but also their whole vibe of that, like, character or album, you know, because singers will often change their hair with a different album.
Right.
So you have a whole different, like, mood or moment. Madonna has always done that. She's been so good at evolving. I think one of my favorite departures for Madonna was Ray of Light, when she totally went the opposite direction of how being, like, in your face, overtly sexy, and then she took a step back and she's like, I'm just gonna be, like, spiritual.
She can, like, master anything.
Yeah. And she's had, like, every haircut, every hair color, every style, but she's still interesting. Like, I still want to see what Madonna's gonna wear to the Grammys.
Right. And if you get on the best dress list, you're gonna be seen more. You're gonna have more momentum for your movie or film or album.
Also, if you're on the worst dress list, you're still talked about.
That's true.
It depends on who you are and what kind of press you are trying to get.
I think so. When they say all press is good press, I don't necessarily believe that. But, I mean, if you're a real risk taker, like, remember when Bjork wore the swan dress or Lady Gaga wore the meat dress? Like, to me, that's still them. Who cares what list they end up on? It doesn't even matter if they're on either list, but people are still going to put that.
It's very polarizing.
Right.
And those are the looks from the red carpet that live on.
Right,
And
that
you
people will always remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And so, like, I remember this year, the Emmys just recently happened, and the fashion police were talking about all the looks. Everyone was kind of going over what people wore and the risks and everything. And to me, like, it's interesting because people that did take a big risk, like January Jones, she did, like, a teal pant jumpsuit. And they were like, I don't know, maybe she shouldn't go out of Mad Men like that. She should go out with a bang. And I think she did go out with a bang. So
Yeah.
it's just interesting how things are perceived. Because it can look one way even when you're trying it on with the designer or the stylist versus on the red carpet.
Right.
Maybe I'm talking about the red carpet for too long. But I'm very passionate about it. And I think that this episode wanted to be so much more. I was excited about it. You know, and it was very blah. It was all the outfits to be very blah. But again, so they're back in New York. I just skipped over the whole workroom. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Did you notice anything in the workroom or mood?
Well, Mood. You know they have a different dog at the Mood in LA.
I have not been to the Mood in LA.
His name is Oscar.
Oh. Did they show Oscar?
Yes, they did. He's
Okay.
super cute. So if you're missing Swatch, you can love Oscar too. Trust me.
Okay.
Thank
you, Oscar.
In the workroom, okay, so Edmond finds this like pink, purple, blue sequin thing.
I have something to say about that.
Okay.
Edmond, I got really excited when he chose that in the fabric store in Mood because I was like, oh my God. To me, this looked like the most recent Armani Privé collection. There was an actress who is gorgeous that must have been a model. She's on the new CBS show Blind Spot. Or is it NBC? Ooh.
I don't know.
She's on the new series Blind Spot, and she's got the short black hair. And she's got tattoos all over her body as this character. Which, by the way, I hope that makeup artist wins an award because that's all makeup.
Wow.
Yeah. And she said she's been working on it, and she was coming to the red carpet to kind of, as a debut, to advertise for her show, but also, like, kind of get people on board with who she is, and I think she did a really good job of that in all of her interviews. Her dress from Armani Privé, she selected it because it had long sleeves, and she was still working on the show, and she still had all this, like, makeup from the tattoos, and she wanted to kind of cover.
Oh, uh-huh.
But it was those colors, and it's actually the colors that you're wearing, that beautiful, like, rich pink tone, purple, blue with black. And it was beaded. And I don't know what the timeline of the filming was in accordance with the Emmy Awards or anything like that. Maybe they filmed this way in advance. But I just thought of that dress. And I will tweet it later because the comparison, I'm going to put like a side by side.
I want to see it.
Because I was like, oh my God, is he going to do that? Because it was like the perfect fitted gown. Just simple and sleek. And it fit her to perfection. And it fit her arms. Like, there was no, like, loosey-goosey sleeves. Like, the sleeves just fit her exactly right, even on a really hot day. I remember it was a hot day this year. But I was hoping he would do that little sleek, fitted gown. If he would have just done that, I mean, yes, he would have been copying Armani. But I was hoping he would go with something down that road.
Well, I saw him, you know, you get little sneak peeks of people in the background working.
Yes.
I saw he had draped on the dress form with that fabric. It was almost like a toga, but it was a little more flowy, which is tough to do with sequins because they're so heavy, but I kind of liked where that was going. I felt like if it was looser, it could be more modern as well. I think when you have a fabric like that, there's not a whole lot you can do. There's not a lot of construction going on. It's about the fabric. So he picked color, which was good.
Yeah, it's interesting because I want to say that fabric, it kind of speaks for itself.
But it can go so tacky.
And
so I feel like when you...
But if you're someone like Giorgio Armani and you have a fabric like that and you want it to just skim the person's body, then do it.
It's about the cut, though. You know what I mean? It has to be a modern cut.
And so people praise that dress.
Right.
So it's not unheard of to let the fabric speak for itself.
No, I think it has to, but I think your manipulation of that fabric has to be so perfect. If you're going to do something simple, it's harder than doing something more difficult with fashion because there's not a lot there to criticize. So your proportions have to be correct. Your cut has to be correct. Everything has to be perfect.
All of the finishing.
Everything.
Mm-hmm. And so I think for a lot of these designers, this is their first time buying fabric with sequins on this show.
Sequins are like the worst fabric on the planet.
And then it's like
to sew.
It's like who told you sequins? Like, or paillettes maybe. But it's like instead of going with fit, color, what is the other one she said?
Fit, color, and drama.
Yeah, fit, color, and drama. It can be colorful. It can be fitted. It can be dramatic. But why does it all have to be sequins?
I mean, it does add that drama.
Well, they had the most money to spend at Mood that they ever have.
Right. But kind of everyone did sequins. And I feel like it's hit or miss. There can be tacky sequins, there can be tasteful sequins.
Well, I liked how Candace decided to use the sequins as only part of her look and not the entire look.
Well, and she just had sequin trim on her fabric. It wasn't like full-on self sequins.
Oh. And hey, just for people listening, what does self sequins mean? What does that mean?
So self is like the main fabric of your garment. So if you have like linen pants, the linen would be the self, and anything that you use with that would be like a contrast or lining or interfacing. But
interfacing.
Yeah.
Okay. So, fashion lesson 101. So the self is the self. To thine own self be true. Do not, if you're going to go with a self sequin, be true to that sequin.
Just watch it.
Let the fabric speak. So the fabric was speaking to Ashley. And let me just tell you, I just recently did a fashion show. And it was a lot of looks together because it was a fashion event showcasing looks from different stores like Saks Fifth Avenue and things of that nature.
Okay.
So they were showcasing pieces, and I don't remember the brand of this top because it was from another model's look. But we were backstage, and one of the other models was like, ooh, I can draw things with my finger on this fabric. And it was the same fabric that Ashley had.
Yeah, I see that all over downtown, and it's so yummy. It's like these sequins, and they are only connected by the top, so you can flip them up a different color or flip them down a different color. And they're usually come in like black and white or matte and shiny, or, you know, I think she has matte gold and
silver
shiny
and gold.
Silver. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's pretty cool. Like, I've seen, you know, they usually make like simple dresses out of them, and you end up rubbing up against somebody or on the wall or whatever, and you've got kind of just up and down pieces all over.
And I think
your
it
dress.
could be a cool look. And I think it should stay pretty simple with the silhouette because it's such an interesting quality.
I feel like she didn't like mess it up enough on the runway. You didn't see any of the silver come from underneath.
Well, I feel like sequins, I don't know. I feel like if you're going to go with sequins, I don't know if it should be the entire dress. I don't see a lot of head to toe sequin dresses anymore.
It's a lot.
I mean, if I do, again, I think they're smaller sequins or like the flat ones.
I like the tiny ones.
The tiny ones are much more elegant.
Yeah.
These big sequins, it's like, are you doing a costume for like the Rockettes or something?
But I do like that they're matte. She has kind of a matte gold sequin she's working with, and I think that looks way more expensive than, you know, the old school 80s. Cheap looking sequins, super shiny, kind of like the ones that Edmond has.
Oh my God, Edmond. Well, his fabric was a little crazy. And speaking of crazy, I must take a second to mention on the CW, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Have you seen it? It's really funny.
I haven't.
It's been on for a couple weeks, and it's about this girl that literally moves from one coast of the United States to the other for a guy.
Wow. Because
she used to date him a long time ago, and now 10 years have gone by, and he is single and she's single, And she's like,
desperate.
Now's my chance. She's like, so you're saying there's a chance?
Oh, man.
She's been kind of crazy about this guy for a long time. She's tried to let it go, but she's like stalked him on Instagram. And it's like, what's his girlfriend doing? What does she look like? Oh my God, I know that I look better than that, you know. So she's been like checking out people on Facebook. She's been talking to her friends like, is this crazy? I don't know. I'm just gonna go for it.
Is this the one that's a musical?
Yes, it's
Okay.
a demented take on the modern musical with some raunchy songs. But it's definitely something to sing about. It's fun to watch, and I don't know. I think it's a good combination because it's kind of a modern day musical, maybe in a demented fairy tale in some kind of way. But I think it's fun to watch, and I think you guys will love watching it out there because this is like a combination of a lot of different things. It kind of reminds me of Glee, but maybe even more pushing the envelope. It's from the writer of The Devil Wears Prada, hello, and the director of 500 Days of Summer. And yeah, you can look at the trailer at cwtv.com. You can check it out every Monday night at 7 Central on the CW.
Right on.
Yeah, so it's only in a few days, so set your DVR. Anyway, we just wanted to mention that. And also, when you watch us on YouTube and listen to us on iTunes, on the podcast, take a second and like us and rate us. And hopefully we're doing a good job today. I feel like I'm a rambling woman a little bit, but that's okay. We just love talking about fashion. And maybe we go on a little bit too long, but that's okay. We love you for listening to us and watching us. So let us know, comment, rate, and all that good stuff. So let's get to the runway rundown. We have our pictures are ready to go. And first of all, we have Ashley. And tonight I decided to write down the models' names because they have been doing such a good job. And we have the final four designers and the final four of the models. We have Aube, A-U-B-E is her name.
Her.
Aube or Obe. I'm not sure how you say that. Obe, okay. She's wearing Ashley. She's been so beautiful all season. I love her walk. She's very graceful on the runway.
I think she's carried a lot of the designs.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is the back and forth sequence we were just talking about. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to say that Ashley wanted her to literally be a trophy. She's like trying to win the trophy. She is the trophy.
Oh.
She's like a warrior woman with that one sleeve, and it's just kind of the fit is not good enough for what this look wants to be.
But to be fair, they don't even get to fit their models till 30 minutes before the runway because they're working in LA. They're flying back to New York for the runway.
However, haven't they worked with a lot of these models for a while?
They have, but still, your dress form can differ, and there's always issues depending on what kind of fabric you're using, if it stretches, if it doesn't, how much give does it have. There's a lot of factors involved, so I thought that totally sucked. I was mad.
Yeah, I thought that they should at least have had more time to edit after their fitting.
Yeah, because if you're not fit correctly, that could really make or break your outfit. Because I kind of liked this, and I think if she would have had more time to correct it, it could have been better.
The sleeve I didn't like, and I also really hate that one strap that she tacked on there.
Really?
Yeah, because it kind of ruined the whole idea of what she was trying to do.
Oh.
I don't know. This is like a 6.5 for me.
Okay.
I was just underwhelmed.
I didn't hate it. I didn't love it, but the matte gold really complements the model's skin tone. I do like the asymmetry. It was interesting, but still simple because of the sequins are still making that statement. And I think with the matte, it was helping it out a lot. I don't hate the strap either.
But come on, if you saw this walk down the red carpet on Beyonce...
Yeah, it would be. I wouldn't think it was out of place.
But the fit is off.
Well, of course, the fit, yes.
She would never choose it because she would say, well, if I want to wear this, I need 3 tailors.
It's not just the fit, it's more the construction. I see things happening on the edges. I mean, the fit of the sleeve is off too.
Yeah, it's like it's almost, I hate to say it, looks like she has like a prosthetic arm.
But, you know, again, it's tough with no fittings till the very last minute, especially with the sleeve. Sleeves are harder on the dress form, I think.
Well, what was your...
I gave her a 7.5.
Okay. You went a little higher. That's
I did.
Good. All right, moving on. Next, we have Christina wearing Kelly. And I have to say, this was perfect fit-wise. I'm a little confused by that triangle pizza shape right in the middle of her midriff, because, I mean, let's just say, thank God it was pointing up. Because if that shape had been done in the same place but pointing down, they'd be like, well, that's pointing down to her hoo-ha.
Right.
So it's an interesting play on shapes that Kelly has done here. I did not quite understand the movement of the fabric when the model was walking in the upper half of her body. It was like some kind of animal octopus situation. But in the photo, it's so beautiful. It fit her perfectly, thank God. You know, those pants. I don't know how she made those pants across the country and fit the model like that.
Yeah. Yikes.
But, and also it's a good use of the shoes. I don't know about the hairstyle on this one. I felt like it made her look a little bit too Judy Jetson. But that's just me. I would have gone a little bit simpler with the hair. Like, I like what the hair is doing behind her, but I would have gone with no volume. I think sleek and down, just straight back. Like,
either way,
sleek.
I mean, this is a gutsy girl who's gonna wear this. So
yeah. I have just minor critiques of the styling, but overall, I think if this came down the red carpet at MTV, then it's a 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only way it would become more of a 10 is maybe editing that cut out a little bit, personal taste, and I think different hair and different accessories. That's why it's not a 10 for me, but it's really beautiful.
Yeah. I liked it a lot too. I think Kelly's really grown, and I think she has an advantage because she actually sews a lot at home. So she has good construction skills and practice. And she also just kind of grew up like craftsy. So I feel like she has a little more creative, spirit than some of the other designers. So as long as she can rein that in and refine it, then I think, she's definitely front runner for me. This outfit is amazing when you look at all the layers. She has a texture underneath. She has all the triangles put on top. Then she puts the shine on top. She trims it out with sequins. I think anytime you have, you can tell when things are cheap when you buy a print, because on the seams, like the side seams or the princess seams, it'll cut off.
The print won't keep going.
Yep.
Like they don't match it up, and so
you can see where it's interrupted.
It's like when you wrap a present for a birthday and you have to cut it and it doesn't match.
Yep. So I think the fact that she kind of made her textile as she made the garment, it makes it a lot more expensive. And I think
and she had that like couturier feeling, because she did. The fit was the way that I wanted the Edmond dress to be.
Yeah, and I think she took advantage of her 2 days, while a lot of the other ones didn't. So I gave her an 8. I guess just because I'm being harsh.
yeah. I mean, this was definitely impressive, but I don't know I don't know how it would feel on a real red carpet. Like, would it get?
I think it would be great. I just don't feel like it's as dramatic as a gown or something, crazier. I feel like this is, it's great, but it's like, is it amazing?
Right.
It's pretty great, but it's...
Okay. I hear you. The next one, of course, is by Candace, and the model wearing it is Lowly. And I don't know if we were getting a good enough view on TV of this dress, because it is in black. And I think in person you see a lot more when something is in a dark color than on a TV or in a photo online on your phone.
Even in person, I think it's harder.
And
unless you're
so
up close.
this is something that I've learned over the years from listening in to conversations of wardrobe stylists and fashion designers. I know that if you are a new actress on the scene, you need to wear a bright color, something really visually interesting, so that you get photographed a lot, no matter what, because maybe they don't know who you are, but you look really good, and you're going to be in a bright color like yellow or hot pink or orange. And so, you know, people are doing that on the red carpet because they're trying to get more attention from the press. And then you have a dress like this in black. This is for, like Nina said, Angelina Jolie, Jennifer Aniston. This is for, you know, Meryl Streep. Of course, Meryl Streep, she's the one who kind of does the pantsuits and stuff like that nowadays. But she still does a gown every once in a while. She might just do this with like a shawl or something. I think she likes to be a little bit more modest. But this is definitely the movie star that's been, you know, a household name for 10 years already.
Right.
Or more. Sandra Bullock also I thought of.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, you know, this is not your dress for the ingenue. This is not your dress for the girl from Blind Spot. But again, I mean, I do see this happening on red carpets for those established actresses. However, these established actresses would never go out on the red carpet with that hemline on the shoe. That bothered me a lot. But I don't know. I saw this come out and I was just like,
yeah, I'm feeling
whatever. So I gave it a 5 because I just feel whatever about it.
Yeah, I gave it a 6. I don't really like the front neck part. It just seems really like old-fashioned to me.
Overworked. Like,
it's just like the back is so cool.
Yeah.
The back was completely engineered out of this print, and it was geometric, and it had, you know, minimal sequins going on. It was perfect, and I feel like she should have built off of that instead of the front. I feel like was just like, oh, it was an afterthought. So it's a little matronly, boring, and, you know, again, I learned the hard way because I love black. You can't see any of the seaming. You can't see any detail. I mean, she's got the glitter on top, but what is the body? I don't know. Can't see.
Yeah.
So if there, you know, I guess if you have errors, that's great because it covers them up. But I don't see much interest to this dress. I can't see anybody stylist choosing this and saying, yes, this is going to be a standout piece.
No, like if I had a lookbook from a designer from their previous like runway collection, I would skip this page.
Skip it.
I'd be like, where's the purple dress?
It really sucks because I'm familiar with Candace's designs from off of the show too, and even from on the show.
Yeah.
She does stunningly perfect designs, garments. They're just super fierce and, you know, dark and edgy. And to me, this isn't edgy. It's not impressive. I felt like it fell short for me.
Yeah. And that train, again, it was not enough drama. I was just kind of like, oh, here's a train. I did not like how Tim Gunn told her to shorten the train. I liked that he told her to take off the gold piece.
It wasn't going to save it, though, for me. It does look better without the gold, but I don't think the train would have been like, oh, wow, I like it now.
I feel like Candace could have almost sent down anything and she would have
She totally played it safe. Everybody knows it. She knows it. She wanted to go to Fashion Week, but I feel like she could have pushed it. She has so much more in her.
And she's going to show us, though. I'm excited for her collection.
Yeah.
So our last look of this episode is from Edmond, and he has the gorgeous model Zorana, which... who even needs to know her last name with a name like that? Just Zorana. It's like
perfect name because she looks like a superhero.
I mean, I have actually loved this model all season long, and she's been Edmond's model every time, and she has looked so good, and especially the week before in the avant-garde.
Oh yeah.
In the black dress, I'm like, Edmond, oh my God, you could have just done that again in like red.
Yeah.
Done and done.
Yeah.
But what happened here is just, it's kind of a red carpet nightmare. Because you have something that's short and tight and shiny that would play to Heidi Klum. He was probably thinking, Heidi will like it and she'll say she wants to wear it. but not this time.
Do you want to hear something funny?
What?
Heidi Klum actually wore a dress almost just like this on the red carpet a while back, and they actually made a Barbie of her wearing a dress just like this.
Oh my
It didn't
God.
have the wings, but it was like kind of the same color, sequin, cut out back. It was like almost identical minus the sleeves.
Well, you know, the thing is, those sleeves, I think, could have even been more dramatic.
More dramatic would have maybe helped it.
If he had done something more dramatic with that, or done a cape, you know, because capes have been popular on the red carpet.
Yeah.
Something, because I think the actual, like, mini dress could have been sexy for a certain event. I hate the shoes with this, because they always say a strap will cut off your leg line, and it's all about her legs right there. And it's like, do a nude shoe. Or do some, I don't know. I just did not like those strappy shoes like that. It was not a good taste level move. I think it was just like, oh my God, I'm gonna put these shoes on her. It
could have been.
The sleeves just they needed to be not there or more. And I think, I don't know what the heck he was trying to do with that purple fabric in the workroom, because I was like, that is ugly.
It's just,
did you see the other purple?
Yeah. That was like a Barbie
like
nightmare.
A prom dress from hell.
80s Barbie nightmare.
Yeah, I was like, Edmond, what?
He was like, it's so fashion. I was like, what?
I wonder if, you know, Edmond has been so strategic, and he's watched the show every single episode. He has auditioned for Project Runway every season since the very beginning. For him, maybe he just did not think he was going to get this far. And he had done all this work and preparation, and he knew what to do every week.
Yeah.
And then it was like, okay, this is your chance to make it into Fashion Week. And I think maybe he got a little overwhelmed all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And also, for him, going to LA was not a good thing, because I don't know. He was
very stuck this challenge.
Edmond, I wish that they would have just said, let's look at the body of work.
It's tough because, you know, every other designer was kicked off based on their merits for that particular challenge.
This season has been all about that. David Giampolo.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and, you know, there were others, too, in the beginning that I feel should have made it farther as well, but...
Oh, I should give my number. I'm gonna go with a 4 on this one. I'm sorry, Edmond.
I gave it a 4, too. Yeah.
The same.
I feel like it's kind of like a 70s superhero stripper dress. It wasn't tasteful. It was... I know it's tough with that fabric, but I feel like he had 2 days. And what did you do? Like a basic dress.
I mean, he could have done... I mean, again, I am not a designer, but I understand design and style and art. And I think he could have done something really impressive with that.
Yeah.
It was a great color palette to work from, but I think maybe instead of buying the other purple that he bought to go with it, he could have bought another supplemental fabric that would have worked well with that, because maybe it... I don't know. I think that the sleeves, if he's going to do a sleeve, it could have been like a great big Lady Gaga sleeve that comes up really high. I don't know what he could have done to save it.
Something more creative, something I haven't seen before. But I feel like that's kind of what I've seen from Edmond all season, is like things I've seen from other designers before.
This season of Project Runway is all about recycling and saving the environment and using ideas that were stolen from previous seasons, like Keeney, Rainway.
Not just seasons, but like, you know, high-end designers that are just, their stuff's out there. I've seen it, and I feel like I want to see innovative, creative fashion.
But again, the fabric choices are going to be... like, it's gonna go along with what's been seen, because it hasn't been that much time since we've seen the most
but
recent.
I mean, but again, a different shape, a different silhouette.
That's what I'm saying.
Something
it has to
interesting,
be innovative. It has to be new. It has
he
to
should
be
have made
surprising.
a suit out of that, a pantsuit.
Oh my God! Yes.
Can you imagine that? That would have been like, he would have won.
Yeah.
Like, hands down.
Yeah, and it oh my God. What a missed opportunity. And it could have been like a giant shoulder
I'm just
pad.
imagining it right now. It's so cute in my head.
Yeah. Edmond, we want you to make that.
That would be awesome.
So, okay. P.S. Christian Siriano, you're so great on TV.
Yes.
It was so great to hear from you on this panel on this specific week because he was so good at talking about what was going on with the construction.
Well, he's been there, but he's also experienced what it's like to be a fashion designer in real life.
Well, yeah,
too.
he puts together collections. He does red carpet looks. He does shoots with models and actresses, and he's all about doing this every single day.
Yeah.
So for him, it was so natural to talk about it. So we get to the judge's decision, and of course, Kelly is the winner this week.
Yep.
So she has won that 3D printer. She has won the 100 nights at Best Western. She's like racking up the prizes. It's like the price is right. And then we have Candace going to Fashion Week. And then we have Ashley going to Fashion Week and Edmond going home. However, ... I think Tim Gunn will save him yet.
I don't know.
They didn't show him talking to Tim Gunn at the end
true.
of the episode.
True.
They didn't tell him to go clean up his space.
Okay, but if that happens, then do you have 4 designers going to Fashion Week?
I think, well, in season 3, way back in the
It
day
has
when I did it,
happened.
we had a final 4 because
Yeah.
they didn't want to eliminate anyone.
We did too.
But then, okay, we are wrapping up the show. Thank you for listening to our recap again. And Michelle, where can we find you online?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Uberreste.
And you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at The Runway Queen. Thank you again. We love having all of your feedback. Thank you for listening and watching, and we'll see you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.